35 years. That's how long Andy Smyth has been the head coach of the men's soccer program at Findlay University. He began in 1989 and is still coaching as of 2024. He was also coach of the women's program for 21 years. In that time, he's won almost 500 games between coaching two sides. To put it into perspective, he began coaching at Findlay just 3 years after Sir Alex Ferguson began coaching at Manchester United. It's an incredible story of durability that's lasted 3.5 decades. I think it's only appropriate as I stroll down this little back alley in Findlay, Ohio, to tell you about the small town of some 40,000 people located about an hour and a half west of Columbus. In the 1880s, it was a major center of oil and natural gas production, which is why the mascot for Findlay University is called the Oilers. It was also when the school was opened, 1882 more specifically, and it was a private Christian university, and it still is to this day. The population of the school itself is around 5,000 people, and it has a couple unique things about the school. The first thing is that their sports stadiums are scattered all over the city of Findlay, unlike most college universities, which tend to keep all their sports stadiums in one complex. And the second being that it is two types of equestrian teams, an English and a Western, equestrian being a rare sport on college campuses. And they've been very successful in both, winning 6 national titles between the two, including 5 in Western. So I've came over here to DeHaven Field, and as you guys can see, it's situated right in the middle of a neighborhood. It's a little difficult to see with the sun coming up, but you got the dorms right here. You got more dorms over there. A bunch of houses all around where the students stay on campus. Looks like this is where the maintenance crew, you know, parks their lawnmowers and everything. You got a cool little gate right here. Tells you where you're at. DeHaven Field. This is where all the players and the fans would walk through every weekend to watch their Oilers play. This is one of the girls who plays for their team. As you guys can see, their colors are orange and white. It's one of the guys. UF, University of Findlay, with the big oil rig in it for the Oilers. This is pretty cool too. They got the schedule for the women and the men's up. Still on 2023. Hopefully they'll get a new one up by next year. And these are some of the teams that they would play. These are some of their rivals right here, like Tiffin University, Central Ohio or Northwest Ohio that they share with, like Ashland also. Northwood, we visited there. We visited Saginaw Valley. We visited Ferris State. So a couple familiar teams on their docket every year. There's all the Lady Oilers. Looks like getting together right before the game, giving their little pep talk. I like this stadium a lot because it does remind me of like an old English stadium. You got the neighborhood just like right here, little parking lot slash alley, and then you got the stadium over here. DeHaven Field. where Coach Andy Smyth, the current head coach of the men's team here at Findlay University, and former women's coach too. This is where he works every single weekend. And he was born actually in London, England, and grew up playing football there. He moved to the United States, and before becoming head coach of the Oilers, he was an assistant coach at Oklahoma State and Miami, Ohio for their soccer programs. Yeah, when you walk around, you can see the proximity of the neighborhood. Through here. He's coached here at DeHaven Field for 35 years, which brings me to the stadium itself, one of the more unique stadiums in college soccer. Its uniqueness stems from its location. Nestled in a neighborhood with student apartment complexes, it's not located in a university sports complex like most college fields are. The capacity of the field is about 600 people, and as I said earlier, it's home to both the men's and women's teams. It's hosted 2 of the NCAA regional games that the women's team played back in 2019. This is where both the men and women play. And of the men's and women's teams here at Findlay, it is the women who are more successful. The program began back in the 1990, and it was Andy Smyth who would be their coach that opening season. And he would coach both the men's and women's team up until 2011, when he stepped down from the head coach as the women's team to focus on the role as the men's head coach. But as head coach of the women's team, he went 239, 158, and 29. So pretty good mark. You know, almost 80 games over 500. He would go on to win 4 regional championships, the GLIAC Coach of the Year, and made multiple GLIAC tournament appearances. Since 2018, they've gone through 3 head coaches, but they've gone 67, 21, and 16 in the process, with 2 regular season conference titles, 1 conference tournament title, and an NCAA tournament appearance, and a win in the NCAA tournament. That sole win would come in the 2019 season when they won the regular season GMAC title. They would earn an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, where they would square off against Rockhurst University of Kansas City. Before a crowd of 500 people here at DeHaven Field, the game would finish 1-1, with the Lady Oilers winning on penalties 3-0 to give the program their first tournament win. There's great pictures on their team website of the fans storming the field, with the girls celebrating the shootout victory in the background. Unfortunately, a few days later on the same field, the tournament run would come to an end with a 1-0 loss to Indianapolis. And in 2021, they would pull the double, winning the GMAC regular season title before defeating Cedarville of Ohio 2-1 in the GMAC final. But unfortunately, there was no NCAA tournament that year due to the COVID pandemic. Here you go, you guys can see a shot of the stands from the other side. There's kind of a painting on the garage over there that says DeHaven Field, home of the Findlay Oilers. It's pretty modern and updated. You guys can see coming around back here. There's a little neighborhood. And here's the field. Unfortunately, I can't find any opening. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get on the field today. Usually whenever I say that, though, I end up finding a gate that's open. So who knows, maybe it'll be my lucky day, because I really want to get onto this field. Here you guys can see the press box. It's probably where they put the camera, where the announcers are. You guys can see the benches, some nice stone down there. So it's unclear when the men's program began at Findlay, but the earliest record for soccer is in 1981, when someone, and I don't know who, won Coach of the Year in their conference. Andy Smyth, the man who I mentioned earlier, has been the head coach here at 1989, going a combined 248, 291, and 51. The men's team, unfortunately, does not have a very successful history. They've only ever made the NCAA tournament one time back in 2003. And over those last 20 years, they've only had 5 seasons over 500. One of which was last year in 2023, going 7-6-5 and losing to Tiffin in the GMAC quarterfinals. Amongst all the mediocrity here, the 2003 tournament run would go down in school history as the first time a team at Findlay made the Final Four in any sport. Their tournament run would begin with a penalty kick win over Ashland in the first round after the game finished 1-1. Then in the second round, they would defeat Mercyhurst of Pennsylvania on penalty kicks again after the game finished 0-0. In the quarterfinals, this time though, they wouldn't need extra time or penalty kicks after beating Truman State of Missouri 2-1 to reach their first and only Final Four, where unfortunately their run would end in the semifinals against Chico State of California 2-0. And another great season that they had was in 2001 when they finished 13-2-2, finishing 8th in the nation and earning Coach Andy Smyth GLIAC Coach of the Year honors. Yeah, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get on the field today. Sounds like one of the maintenance crews firing up the lawnmowers over there.